All right, little bit different video from us here at K-Tech. I'm Rick. We're gonna be going through one of our stage builds today, and it's gonna be on this 2008 C6 Z06. So we're doing our stage 2 package on this. This is a heads cam, cylinder head fix for the LS7, and in addition to that, we're doing a ton of other cool things to this. So today is gonna be the teardown and kind of a high-level overview of what we're gonna be doing to this thing. Step 1, we got it washed, all cleaned up. We're gonna throw some fender tape on the fenders and work area, and disconnect the battery and get to tearing this thing apart. So in addition to the heads cam that this thing's receiving, it's also receiving some oiling upgrades via an improved racing oil pan baffle. So we're gonna pull the motor out of this. We're also gonna be doing a clutch in it, our LT5X clutch, and a bunch of other stuff. So step 1 is gonna be getting this thing torn apart so we can get our cylinder heads taken over to our cylinder head department, get CNC ported, the valve guides replaced, new intake valves, get this thing all dialed in. So we got Keenan here with me. We're gonna get to working on this thing and hopefully have it apart by lunchtime. This is one of our favorite specimens, a bone stock LS7. I think this car has 13,000 miles on it. This thing's super clean.
Although these engines get a little bit of flack from the community just because from factory they do have a couple of issues, this is my favorite GM motor that was ever built right here is the LS7. I just love these motors. They sound so good. They're just make great power and just a sweet power plant to have in any car.
Yeah, in the world where turbos and supercharged stuff is pretty prominent these days, it's cool to just have a beast of an NA engine.
I agree. I mean, having a beast of an LS7 in any car, especially a light car like these C6s, they just fly. They're just awesome. I love them.
Yeah, so what's our strategy on this?
So strategy is, like you said, we're gonna get the paint protection stuff on there so as we're leaning over, we're not scratch any of the paint, and then we're gonna get the beauty covers off. We're gonna take the intake manifold, the cold air intake, all that good stuff. Stage 1 is get the heads off and get them sent over to our cylinder head department so they can get worked on, get that notorious valve guide repair done, and then after that, it's just kind of disconnecting all the harness and everything like that, and then dropping the frame out of the bottom with the motor still on the frame. So we're gonna get working on that. I think we can get the heads off in a couple hours here. So if we start turning and burning right now, it should be ready in no time.
Yeah, well, let's get to it then. A couple hours later, we got this thing all torn apart. So came apart very smooth. We could have left the heads on and just taken them out with the whole engine, but like we said, we wanted to get the heads over to the machine shop as soon as possible to get that valve fix done and get them all ported up, cleaned up, ready to go, and ready to bolt back on.
Yeah, so I mean, as we're pulling these engines apart and these cars apart, we always are watching and looking over everything, all the parts, making sure everything's in good shape, nothing looks weird, or we're checking cylinder walls, and this motor being so low miles, we weren't really worried about it. And I mean, everything looks good shape in there, so we're really happy. Yeah, once we get these things apart to our cylinder head guy and he gets them apart, that's when he's going to do all of his measurements. He's going to check them all over, and if he sees anything that's a little out of whack or something that's concerning or alarming, he's going to bring it up, and we'll obviously get it taken care of. But yeah, these good shape, so we're just going to keep on moving and take these over right now.
Things are moving along on this unit, so we have a lot of the suspension disconnected. already on this thing. We got the brakes off. It's getting AP Racing brakes, so we don't need the stock stuff anymore. Starter's out. We already have some of the bell housing bolts removed from up top, and Keenan's just going ahead and removing some of the transmission cooler lines to get that stuff disconnected and out of the way. So what's next?
So we're gonna get these disconnected. This portion is gonna come down with the frame and the motor. This portion is gonna stay up with the torque tube. On this side, you guys can see, if you wanna come, you can see that this harness runs underneath the motor mount. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna drop the cradle down a little bit, enough to where we can pull this harness through there, and then we're gonna put the cradle back up, loosely bolted in, and then that's pretty much everything. And then we just gotta hit these bell housing bolts, and we'll start kind of slowly bringing it down, inching it forward to get the input shaft out, and then eventually the whole thing will just come right out. So we should have it out by the end of the day.
No big deal. So we got an hour left. You think we're gonna get that done by the end of the day?
I think we can get it done in an hour, yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, let's get back at it.
All right, engine has come out pretty good. I'd say it came out pretty fine. I mean, no issues, no hiccups. What do you think?
Smooth sailing.
What's on tomorrow's docket?
Tomorrow's docket, man. So we got a ton of stuff that we could do on this car. I think we'll probably go over a better list of what all this car is getting. Obviously, it's getting a lot of engine upgrades. It's getting a lot of chassis stuff too, to go along with all the power we're going to put at this thing. So I think that'll probably wrap this video up.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I mean,
you guys are enjoying this kind of stuff. A little bit more technical. We're going to try and give you guys a little bit more information on what all goes into these cars that we do here, and hopefully get your guys' cars in here, or at least sell you some parts to make your car run pretty good. So I think that should do it for this video.
Awesome.